What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Ricker and Bond. Super cool episode. A lot of talk about finance, TV, a lot of Abel. Really cool interview at the end. Maximo, currently with Grayscale. Gonna hear a lot about cool stuff, money, and VC. Bond.
Also, happy Martin Luther King Day. If you are at work or going to work, what are you doing? It's a holiday. All right. Enjoy the episode.
Enjoy.
How come you don't want me, man? You know that new style you're looking for? If you want to keep going, I will keep going tonight. What's up? Hello. What cool is that?
Can't beat the fucking Clippers. Y'all make me sick with this shit.
Well, listen to this.
Politicians are a lot like that. They should be changed frequently for the same reason.
Yo, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to listen to Ricker and Bond.
We find it now.
Protect the city.
Listen, baby. Ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far.
Don't worry, baby.
Just call my name. I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river.
This is Marvin Gaye when he's young. I'm looking at a picture at. I've never seen him young.
Damn. I was
It
gonna
looks
say
like-
bad joke.
What is it?
I was gonna say no one's ever seen him old.
Hey, shot by his dad.
All right. You seen that Family Guy joke
I feel like I have.
where he gave his dad a gift for Father's Day, and his dad was like, "Marvin, if this is another tie, I'm gonna kill you."
Oh,
Yeah,
he killed him.
He killed him. Poor taste.
There is a comedian I saw a clip of, and it was like his special, but it was a kind of like an improv part that I think made it into the cut. And he was talking about the bit was about Alabama and the coach of Alabama in like the 70s, the first coach to not have just white people on the team. And it was in the 70s, and he's like, "Yo, 70s is kind of late." And then basically the gist is like, as long as the like football team's winning, that's all you need like to see. And then he was talking about Remember the Titans, which is like the improv bit. And he was like, this was hundreds of years of this city being like, no, got to have only white people on the team. And then they see some winning and they're like, oh, the high school team's 4-0? Those are my brothers.
Wow, it's true.
It was a great joke. I don't like to take the punchline, but that was kind of the punchline.
I want to take some time to remember a great man, Mr. Bob Saget.
Oh, he's dead.
who
That was
we
weird.
lost. Yeah.
Didn't have him in the Deadpool.
Nah, he was literally, he did a comedy show and then just went home and died.
I was watching a Comedy Central roast of Bob Saget, and when Norm Macdonald was doing it,
Oh no.
and it was cool. I didn't get into Norm Macdonald until he died, but like it's like a dry like comedian's humor. Everything you hear, like comments of like that's like he's trying to make like comedians laugh instead of the audience.
Yeah. I like roasts.
It's just fun. But he was just Norm was doing like super, you're supposed to do like raunchy stuff, and he went up and did like the anti of that, which is like meta funny for comedians. And I thought that was nice. And at the end he was like said a very heartfelt thing to Bob Saget, and now they're both dead.
Damn, they're both chilling in heaven.
Nah, or something else.
Maybe not Norm.
What did Norm do? Why Norm?
I don't know. I don't think he was a Christian.
I think I saw like a Family Guy clip of like the end times, like the end times were happening. Did you see that? It might have been newer.
I don't think so.
It was funny. It was kind of like interesting.
But yeah, Bob Saget. You ever watch Full House?
Yeah, dude. Full House was my jam. It was on like when I was coming home. It was on 35 ABC Family.
Damn, I used to watch that shit on Nick at Night.
Yeah.
That shit was
Well, that's
classic.
not really a Nick at Night show for me. Nick at Night, you had The Fresh Prince, you had George Lopez show.
Oh, jeez.
You-
That's when they started adding some color to Nick at Night. First
You
it was
look-
Golden Girls, then Full House.
Never watched Golden Girls, dude. But
That's
anyway,
not true. They watched that. They played Sanford and Son, I think.
I
No, that
never
was
watched,
TV Land. That was TV Land, not Nick at Night.
Yeah, I never watched Sanford and Sons.
I used to watch TV Land when I was sick.
I think TV Land was like 64 on my TV. Yeah, I had cable. What of it? What of it,
Yeah,
dog?
I had cable too. Shit.
Grew up
Don't make me
nice,
feel bad.
man.
I don't have to watch fucking PBS Kids. I can watch Nickelodeon.
Hey man, how's that work? You don't have cable. You plug in your TV. Is there? Where does the like 1 through 5 channels come from? You got to still plug it into the wall somewhere, yeah.
I don't know.
Where do they come from?
Though
I gotta ask an old person.
everybody has a satellite dish on their house, right? Or something.
No,
But like they don't have like those premium cable channels, direct TV dish.
I ain't got no dish.
You don't have a dish? Well, people don't have it anymore because all their shit's connected to the
That was the
internet.
thing.
Yeah. All their TVs are
And
connected.
then then I guess companies did have replacements for dishes. Everyone just had a dish? I guess so. Maybe
A
not.
big
I don't
ass
know.
dish.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
I was born in 1996.
And I remember sometimes it would rain and the TV wouldn't work.
Dude, 96 is going to be like, yo, you were born before 2000? Sick, bro.
That's crazy. You
There's-
ever think about how we're just in the roaring 20s? There's just a raging pandemic in the 20s.
And
And now
then
we're going to be old. And I'm going to be like, yeah, in my 20s, I went through the pandemic in the 1920s.
I saw the exponential gap of wealth get even more exponential.
Yes.
What happened in the
however,
1920s too?
However, I feel like there's kind of like an opportunity with the internet to like
It's a little
fill in that
easier
void.
than the 1920s, the gap.
Yeah. You don't have to pick up a shovel and go dig a ditch anymore to make
You
it
got an
happen.
iPhone. You could,
You can fucking take a drop shipping course.
the bridge has never been doper than it has been now. It's a really good bridge.
I saw a thing.
I'm
Some
sure
girl
it's
is
built
on
by-
track to retire by the time she's 15.
I think I saw that.
And I was like, okay, like, is this the new norm?
Did
Are
you
we
click
just,
it?
like-
What's good with it?
I didn't click it, but
No one ever clicks them.
imagine if that's like the new thing for like the next couple generations. Like
Super
the
rich at 20.
retirement age is like 40. Like it drops all the way down for like people that know how to use computers properly.
Yeah, I think there's probably going to be more money problems in terms of like you're going to need more. Like 26 million is now 1 million from what it was in the past. Like the being a millionaire as being rich was like an older 20th century thing. It's now basically the top contracts of like NBA players. So basically like $1 million is kind of like middle class right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna say like it's easy to make $1 million, but it's probably easier than it's ever been.
The bridges are great. You got a phone. You can go to Starbucks. I watched a Rick and Bond. Everybody, well, happy Monday. Thanks for listening. You're appreciated. I see you, hear you, and really
Feel you.
yeah. Really feel you. I watched a short video of the economics of Starbucks, which is I think just talking about their like credit cards and people paying digitally, and they basically have like the 300th biggest bank in terms of money of like people depositing money to buy Starbucks later than all the banks in America.
God damn.
Pretty crazy.
I was reading this thing about how Target, it's just like, well, every store has this now, but this was written in like the early 2000s, had like this like digital identity for everybody, and they're one of the first stores to do it, and they could predict like if you were pregnant before you even knew, and people got freaked out. So they kind of had to like water down their catalog and make it less creepy.
What book is that?
This book right here,
Oh, one of the books.
the Power of Habit. It's just okay. It has some cool stories, but like
that's the yellow one with the red. That's one of the books that I knew like in the past, but I didn't like it. I wasn't compelled to it for some reason. I'll watch it one day.
I don't like that it like
It's a lot of stories.
I like the stories. Like I learned some stuff about history, but it kind of made big leaps to prove its point.
Yeah.
It, like tried to say like, oh, because it used the Montgomery bus boycott as an example, and it was saying that like back then there were when Rosa Parks like refused to go to the back of the bus, like she wasn't the only one that did that. But why is it that when she did it, it sparked like a revolution across the country that made people band together?
Because of storytelling in the future.
What?
Because of the way it's been branded in the future.
Could be.
Like, it's kind of a compelling story. It's just like, you know, word of mouth stories that has gone through time. It gets a little jarbled up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened. They didn't really have Twitter back then. But like this was like it happened, and then all of a sudden, like all the black people got together and like, yo, let's not ride the buses. And this was a time when word spread like really not that quick. So to get like a bunch of cities doing it was crazy, especially the longer it went on, to keep people like motivated to do it, especially when people started like getting arrested and shit. It was, and its reasoning was because Rosa Parks was like really popular,
really hot,
community.
Well, really attractive.
I don't know how old she was per se.
She was popular in her community.
She was popular. She had a lot of friends. Even white people liked her.
The power of networking.
Yeah, she was a networking gal.
She was
and so
real big business part, Miss Parks.
When she went to jail, like people cared about her.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you can't throw. It's like Miss Lady across the street. Like, you threw Miss Lady in prison, bro?
That's her. That's actually the same person.
Have you seen the Key and Peele like magic black person skit?
Magic? No, I don't think so.
It's like it's the trope of like magic, like black people in like movies. And there's a skit. I think they say the old N word, but I don't want to say that because I don't know what's going on.
Why not?
It's the word after the N word in the timeline of the N word.
Oh,
the Spanish word for black.
The Spanish word for black. Oh, Negro.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I stand, where I don't stand. You know, just get out of here.
Imagine like how ruthless you would have been to me. It was just 100 years ago
in this particular shirt too.
Like I could literally just be walking down the street and then you could just say, be like, hey, that guy touched my daughter.
Yeah.
And then they just burn down my house and
dude,
lynch me.
But then the high school team went 4-0.
Oh, that's 50 years later.
Well, you know, high school team goes 4-0. Dude. You gotta really put your priorities in. Dude, speaking of high school team, I was watching Shay Carl. I watched a Shay Carl vlog because he was in the Twitter space, and I saw shaycarl.eth.
Is the family still together?
It's still together. You know, the power of old religions really keeps you together.
Do you think she was like, Shay, you got to let me fuck Tyrone since you tried to cheat on me, and then we'll be even?
There had to be one bargaining chip.
Do you think they got canceling? Probably in the church.
Like they got canceled and so they got back together?
No, sorry, counseling.
Oh, maybe. Probably.
You think
I'm sure they need it if they didn't have it before. Jesus, man. The first vlog family, basically.
Yeah. Damn.
And like trying to run the company and it didn't work. And then you did something weird and you already have like alcoholism. And you're Mormon.
Yeah.
Like you need some therapy, probably. Their kids were drinking soda. I saw.
That's not good.
It's not Mormon.
Damn. At least they're debt free. Well, they were.
they were really down with Ramsey, dude. They loathe Ramsey. Right. They're like, yo, dude, cutting these credit cards, baby. We were in debt, making a YouTube business. Dude, the youngest kid had a freaking low voice, and I was like, whoa.
The youngest kid?
No, the oldest son.
How old? He has to be like 18.
He's 18.
Damn.
He was doing it. Was weird because
what up?
Yeah, dude, that's what it was. And he was all fat and acne. Shout out, Shay Tars. No shade.
It's okay. He'll trim that down.
His dad did it, but it's really in your it's in your genes.
You gotta want it. Here's the thing. Okay, I have a thing
Yeah.
about that. Did you say like fatness is in your genes? Being fat?
I read it, bro. I read a thing, and I've heard it before, but it passes down genetically.
I heard a doctor say.
I read it, bro.
I heard a doctor say that it's not in your genes. Eating habits are just passed down because, like, obesity is like kind of new. It started when we started taking fast food in like the 50s. Like in the 20s, people weren't fat, or it was very, very rare.
Sure.
So like, how could something like that's only been around for a couple generations be morphed into your genetics?
I don't know. I there was a snippet that I actually had copied into my notes, but then I deleted that was talking about it. But right now, from the 10 to 20 sentences I've read about things being passed down through biology, I'm on the side where it can be.
Really? I think it's just, my mom's a fat fuck and she's always eating McDonald's and I only eat what she buys me. So I'm going to eat McDonald's too until I can.
That I do think is very, without much research, I think that's pretty plausible. Quite plausible. What's going on in life, man? Any headlines, any things you see that are cool?
Let me think.
What you been up to?
Just been thinking about Bob Saget all week. That's what I've been up to. So sad, dude. He wasn't even that old.
Yeah, 65? That was P lame.
I was kind of like thinking that I was watching some Full House clips. There was a lot of like
racism,
kid kissing in that show.
Could see it.
Like, you know how they have to play like the fatherly figure, but I'm just like, dude, that's like not your kid, you know?
Oh, for like son to or like kids to father.
Yeah, like on the lips. I'm just like, dude. I'm just like, what if that was like my kid, like acting? Like, yeah, I was showing up to the set. Here's my infant daughter.
Yeah.
Go kiss that grown ass man.
You know, the Olsons, baby.
That was a different time for sure. But
and people mouth kiss, you know, not big mouth. I never seen the family mouth kissing before than a few years ago, and that caught me by surprise. I didn't know that was a thing.
It definitely. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, wait, what was the relation?
Just like either like I think like I saw like a son to father one time, father to daughter one time.
20-year-old son.
it was someone's stepdad and a 25-year-old, and I was like, wait, dude, what?
I remember I used to kiss my dad on the lips until I was like maybe 3 or 4, and then he was like, "Yo, he missed me with that gay shit."
I can see that.
Papa.
I didn't know that existed. I think what I saw the first time was a wrestler go to like the like stands and is like, you know, like 5-6-year-old and a kiss on the lip, and
yeah. Fucking.
I think that
who was it?
No, a different wrestler. Who what?
I think it was like Floyd Mayweather, like was kissing his daughter on the lips or something, and someone was like, "Ew, don't be doing that to your daughter."
Yeah.
And he was like, "It was my fucking baby. I don't give a fuck." I think it was the game. It was the game. He said that.
It's vaguely reminiscent of a memory I have.
At what age do you think that's not cool?
Probably like second, third, like third, fourth grade is like kind of different than like first, second grade.
I had some friends in high school that did that to their dad still. That was weird.
It's a little old.
It's pretty disgusting.
I mean, I don't know if it's disgusting.
It's like they were like
I wouldn't. What if they were down to kiss their father, but like not their mother?
Get some tongue in there.
Their mom like kissed him on the cheek, and they're like, "Ew, wow, dude, I'm in middle school," and then he freaking a little peck on the mouth to his dad.
Mom's like, "Can I get a kiss too?" And they're like, "No."
Like, grow up, mom.
Grow up, mom. That shit's weird.
And he says bye, bro, to his dad, and then kisses him. Dog.
Slap on the ass.
The game would do that, bro. The game's just a little teddy bear. Oh. Martin Shkreli ordered to return $64 million is barred from the drug industry.
Does he have that?
I don't know, but he must return $64.6 million in profits he and his former company reaped from jacking up the price and monopolizing the market for a life-saving drug, which is really something to do. Jesus, dude. A federal judge ruled Friday while also barring the provocative imprisoned ex-CEO from the pharmaceutical industry for the rest of his life. Vieira. 135-page opinion. Opinions are long to write.
Damn, that's a lot of writing.
Shkreli was CEO of Turing Pharmaceutical, which is kind of funny. Later, Vieira, when it raised the price of Daraprim from $13 to $50 to $750 per pill after obtaining exclusive rights to the decades-old drug in 2015. It treats pregnant women, cancer patients, and AIDS.
Damn.
Do you think
Fudged up?
they're just in like a horrible position as a company? And they're like, yo, we need money.
You think they still have that money? Didn't he like buy an album?
He bought
and,
the one, a physical NFT of the Wu-Tang album, if you will.
Is he a sadist?
Yes. Perhaps. I don't know if is it sadist?
I don't know.
Sadistic is the adjective.
I could be mistaken.
But I know what you're trying to say. Someone that loves watching the world burn. Is he a joker? I think people did actually make that meme. Vieira and its parent company, Phoenixus AG, settled last month agreeing to provide up to $40 million in relief over 10 years to consumers and to make Daraprim available to any potential generic competitor at the cost of producing the drug. Former Vieira CEO Kevin Milady agreed to pay $250,000 if he violates the settlement, which is nothing at all, which barred him from working for a pharmaceutical company for 7 years.
Damn.
He's the parent company CEO. Interesting.
Martin Shkreli, yeah. So what is the price of that drug now? Can I grab some?
If you have AIDS, it might be back to the $13.50 price. Treats a rare parasitic disease that strikes pregnant women, cancer patients, and AIDS patients.
It's trash.
That's weird. A parasitic disease that only goes towards cancer, pregnant women, and AIDS?
It just sniffs as if it has any of those diseases.
That's weird.
I'm saying pregnancy is a disease. You think about it, there's a thing living in you that's just like feeding off of you.
It is quite parasitic.
Yes. I saw a tweet that was like, how come on Mars bacteria is considered life, but on Earth a human's heartbeat isn't? And I was like, whoa, rebuttal.
I would probably say because we got a lot more life here.
We got too much life.
It's really supply and demand.
Yeah.
You go into Mars, there's almost no life. You go to Earth, there's a whole lot of life. So you really put it down a little bit.
Yeah. Gosh.
Mr. Musk was like, "Yo, we need more people."
We need to go to Mars.
Which was interesting. He was like, "Yo," we need hella more people, get more babies. Also, I gotta get to Mars.
That's funny because Jeff Bezos was like, we need less people. Like, we're gonna go into stasis soon, where there's not enough resources to like feed everybody, and also not enough energy to like keep everyone warm.
On the surface, I trust Musk a little more from whatever he's branded for me to talk about resources, but I don't know. Amazon's pretty supply-y.
They're both like.
Who would you trust more for Earth life expectancy?
Well,
you have to pick one.
I feel like Elon Musk is like. Well, I don't know. Like they're both like smart.
Yeah, they're engineers. But
Jeff Bezos isn't an engineer. He's just a really smart business guy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, his job before Amazon was Wall Street.
Positive.
Positive.
Okay, I believe you.
And but I think he is the smartest engineers in the world around him. They
Counts
probably
for
both
something.
do.
Counts
But
for something.
Elon Musk is an engineer himself. But
It's true.
that doesn't mean he's like
We had a big old segment about engineers last time. They're dumb.
it's so stupid. Why do you study engineering? Such a waste of money.
Dude,
Study
that-
ginger studies instead.
Imagine going up to an engineering student and just like talking down on it.
Yeah.
You know those memes about talking down to like a Wall Street bro or something.
Yeah.
Be like, go up to an engineering student. You're like, what are you doing? Engineering? What are you doing that for?
Like,
what are you gonna make
on.
stuff?
when you know, get
Like you make-
serious about your life.
Tangible things for the society.
Why don't you work on that album?
Have you even made 6 beats today?
Like
come on.
dog, like Kanye West made 5 beats a day for 5 summers, bro. You're slacking.
You know, rest in peace, Virgil, man. Come on.
Damn, rest in peace, Virgil, bro. Okay, I just gotta say, dude, I really feel for Kanye West, man. He's going through the divorce. Imagine you're going through a divorce.
Yeah.
That's bad enough.
Mom's
right?
dead.
Mom's dead. Your
Father never been in the public zeitgeist.
you have how many kids do you have? 4 or 5? A lot
Too
of
much.
kids. And your wife, your ex-wife Kim Kardashian, is just flaunting this guy that's 20 years younger than you, whatever chance she gets.
Who is it right now?
Pete Davidson.
Uh,
And you're just like,
she has a
damn,
quick cycle, bro. I'm sure, I mean, that was a long stretch publicly faithful to Kanye, you know?
I heard this
Prenup, right?
I'm not sure. They both have over $1 billion. So
Kardashian is probably the one to be like, yo, you going to sign this prenup? Shout out to Tyler, the Creator on the Weekend album.
he was probably like, Kanye was probably like, nah, I love you, Kim.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm never going to sign a prenup.
I trust you with my
I
life.
trust you. No, this is God's love right here.
Like,
Jesus
this is
didn't sign no prenup.
God's holy matrimony right here. Like, what do you think this is, Kim? Like, this is faith binding. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so poor guy, he's really going through it.
What was the that battery case? Did you look into that at all?
Yeah, so apparently, he was at a club in downtown, right over here called Soho, super exclusive, according to my friend. And some guy just came up to him asking for like an autograph or something. And Kanye was like, "Can't you see I'm going through a divorce or something?" And like punched him in the nose. So I'll probably have to deal with that later. But
Classic Bieber situation.
first Coachella. Yeah.
Oh, he has to do Coachella?
Yeah, he's doing Coachella. Billie Eilish and Harry Styles.
Are the headlining acts?
Yes.
Harry went on like a wild tour.
Yeah.
Like I saw like footage of that a lot.
He's pretty famous.
Yeah. A little too British to be my famous.
British.
And he didn't sound super good.
I don't really like his music.
I haven't listened to like any songs, but like he's like hitting like Queen level.
I think he's like, I don't like this is the thing I don't like about The Weeknd anymore. Like the stars, a lot of the stars today are just trying to like do something that's already been done. I think
The Weeknd hasn't had done that stuff. Or like cycling back to older people.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes it's like I'm just like, bro, this is Michael Jackson. Like Sacrifice, great song, but it's fucking Michael Jackson. Fucking I look at Harry Styles, I'm like, all right, Elton John, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Like we get it, you're British. Like
cycles, you know.
Fucking, I mean, who's someone that's like kind of doing their own thing? Kanye West, Drake, in my opinion, are kind of paving they have like their own style. I would say Drake.
Isn't he known for like melding other people's forms?
Yeah, but he makes like it his
chameleon. Did you see that that remix version of Sacrifice video?
No.
It was a Swedish House Mafia remix of Sacrifice video, and it was like not like a extravagant music video. It was first of all, literally, I'm surprised you're not saying what you said because you saw that video, because it's literally a reprise on the Billie Jean music video of Lights and Thriller.
Oh, was that the one where he was like dancing on the? Oh, I did see that. I thought that was fake. I thought a fan made that or something.
No, it was just a remix version of it was like an alternate world non-Weekend character music video.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Because it was like a thing, like, because he always has these like intricate, like character-driven stories and stuff, and this was like a music video that you see Michael Jackson doing. And so I'm pretty sure that he knows he's doing Michael Jackson because he literally did Michael Jackson. There's like Thriller and Billie Jean, and also like ballroom Vogue dancing, which isn't really Michael Jackson, but it was cool.
Damn, dude, that sucks.
I can't believe. Okay, Peter from Norway. I can't believe that people think After Hours is like a top-notch Weekend album. I'm surprised.
You can't believe that?
Yeah.
Why can't
you? It was because it was an intricate listen. It was like a book.
Well,
it was like listening to a Pink Floyd album.
Well, I mean, like people listen to that, they're like, "Oh, Blinded Lights."
That's like 2 songs. I also haven't like listened to it, and I haven't listened to hella stuff back in the.
It's not like, I don't think it's like as intricate as the recent album or some of his older stuff, like Kissland.
It was a more modern Kisslandy, which is intricate.
I don't know, because there's like so many pop songs on there. If you listen to that without any visuals at all, like let's say there was no face to it, would you still think it's intricate? Or would you be like, all right, these are good pop songs?
From what I remember, I'm basically making like a vague memory in my mind because I haven't listened to it since like LA. But from what I remember, like with no music videos, I was like, this is a deep listen.
Damn, I wonder if he's serious about this whole trilogy thing.
What do you mean serious?
Do you think he's like from the beginning of After Hours, he's like, I want to make a trilogy? Or do you think
I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, yo, I'm going to make these 3 albums very complimentary? Because we had it sounded complimentary when we heard it. It was like, yeah, this sounds like it could have been After Hours.
Yeah.
I thought this should have been before. After Hours sounds like it should have been after.
I could see that. I think some songs could have just been on After Hours.
The story,
maybe just make the whole album on After Hours.
That'd be cooler. It sounded like this one should have been like if the story is like you're partying at night and then you know the sun's coming up and you're like crash, and that's like the second thing, and then the third one's like you afterlife or something. This Dawn sounded like it should have been the first thing. After Hours sounded more like solemn in my memory.
Dang.
Shout out to everybody dude, some of those behind the scenes music video stuff, you peep any of that? Like Exovision video?
Yeah.
Super dope.
You be going hard on the video.
He was like, yo, I can't tour. I'm just like 3 videos of every video.
Damn. I hope he gets to tour this album. And also, is it going to be an After Hours tour or a this tour or both?
Probably, does he usually do full albums?
Yes.
Like on stage?
Yes, but how long are concerts? 2 hours or an hour? You could probably squeeze both albums in there.
Does he have intro acts?
Yeah.
What do you have in the past?
When I went, he had, I think it was like Ray Srimmerd and Belly or something. But he's had like Six Lack, Bryson Tiller, Travis Scott back in
Bryson
the day.
would be freaking, that's a low mood atmosphere.
Travis Scott would have been wild. Right before The Weekend?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you said Ray Shremmerd, I was like, that's kind of a weird mix. But then like The Weeknd's kind of a low vibe, like attitude. So I get like, you don't want people being like bored with the intro act.
Who else did he have? I don't know. I think
Billie Eilish is too big.
Billie Eilish, way too big for that. That'd be a good show.
That'd be dope.
I feel like, actually, I don't know, because there was a point in time when The Weeknd was supposed to open for Rihanna.
That'd be cool.
So maybe.
A Rihanna show's cool. I'd imagine they are.
Yeah, but no, The Weeknd can't be opening for anyone anymore. Those days are over.
I mean, big concert, Lollapalooza type joint.
Got to be the headliner. How many listeners does Billie Eilish have per month?
Probably not more than Selena Gomez on Spotify.
Jesus Christ. So Billie Eilish rocking 49 million.
Okay.
The Weeknd is rocking 83 million. And Selena Gomez
123.
14 billion.
Wait, it went from 83 million to 14 billion? Oh, you're joking. You're joking.
34 million.
Okay. So 83 for Abel?
Yes. But he's still not beating Justin Bieber with 89 million. But close.
Jeez, Justin. What a run you got. What a run.
Oh man, Justin's been around since like
too long.
A while.
What's he up to, man? Is he still managed by good old Scooty?
I think so.
Jeez.
I think Scooter
You're really Epsteining his finances, eh?
Dude, Justin Bieber is probably just so like tired of it.
8% in Amazon.
Can't go anywhere.
Can't believe homie didn't have we have an interview at the end of this, and I wanted some freaking prediction code. I want predictive Python code.
Why don't you make it?
I wanted to be given it.
Dun, 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 dun. I was born in the city.
Winter nights don't ever sleep, you know?
So can we get the next album, please? I'm already over this one.
Go on, chill. I kind of am. Like I've actually had it pretty stuck in my head, but like I said, I really don't listen to hella music anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you take walks?
I do, but that is like the only time I would listen to music. I try to take walks in the morning, but those are like supposed to be non-plugged in walks, but I might transfer one off, one on for make like an audiobook.
Oh, I was going to ask you, did you see Spider-Man?
I have not. Was it cool?
It was cool. I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoyed the trailer a lot.
It was quite. I think you should see it in theaters if you can.
Okay. I probably won't. I'll see it like 2060 when it's like a vintage movie. Like, yo, this shit is banging, bro.
Dude, it was just like a fucking IP.
Yeah.
Like they went crazy. They're like, how much shit can we put in this shit? Space Jam.
Because they're going into like multiverse right now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're trying to. Because don't they have X-Men right now, Marvel?
I don't think they have X-Men. Wait, they might.
Or Fantastic Four. I think they have new cats that they're like trying to work in. It's someone that they had before. Because I think mutants and stuff have been like walked in. Did you ever see WandaVision stuff?
No.
Do you know her lore?
I haven't.
I saw as you do like a 16-minute YouTube overview of the series. It was pretty interesting.
Apparently there's shit in this movie that like you only get if you've seen the shows, the Disney Plus shows.
Like Loki, WandaVision, and
like
some
Hawkeye
other stuff.
And shit.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Man, Proud Family, Disney Plus.
Damn, they brought it back. I saw that.
A series. I thought it was maybe a movie at first, but it was like it might be a limited series, but it popped up on a YouTube ad, and I was like, yo.
Same. Yeah, I was reading they were bringing it back a while ago. Same
Nostalgia.
Cast.
I'm not sure. It sounded the same.
Animation looks a little different.
It's more like cartoon movie.
Yeah.
Which I never know. What's the difference between that? It's like more shadows.
I don't know, but I remember the SpongeBob movie when that came out. Like, I really liked the animation on that one. The first one, the first movie.
I think it's more shadows, a little more depth, maybe a little more writing in the background.
Take more time on the colors.
Mm-hmm. Proud Family, dude. Proud Family.
I hope the theme song's still the same, but I know it's not.
It is. It was in the thing. And they like at the end they kind of like or like made sure people know.
Destiny's Child?
Yeah.
The Proud Family. You and me will never
probably
die.
I mean, you'd have to put it up against other sitcom intro songs, but I know it's a 2000s thing too, but like that's a top 3 intro.
For real.
Family Matters is cool. Shout out. I'd probably have to. I mean, like George Lopez, Family Matters, Full House.
I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant us into the reservation. Keep on the pistol that you pay for. This pump the feeling that you stay for. In time, I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out the boy, you better come to. Don't buy you know the truth is some do. Go write your message on the pavement. Burn so bright, I wonder what the wave meant. White heat is screaming in the jungle.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, Bonjen.
I
Live in
love the
studio.
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
I don't really.
but not for like I'm kind of a poser. I only know them from Guitar Hero,
Frusciante had a cool album.
unfortunately.
Ricker and Bond, everybody. Happy Monday. Another episode. We got a cool guest, Matt Maximo. How you doing, sir?
Good, guys. Thanks for having me.
No problemo.
No problem. Thanks everybody for listening. We got a really interesting interview today. Matt Maximo of Grayscale, which is a crypto asset manager with $43.5 billion in assets.
Is that true? Did it go up since then? Do you know the cap off top, Max?
I think it's around 39 since the market dropped a little bit, but it
really?
bounces between like 39 and 50 every few weeks.
Can you give people a brief intro of you, how you got to today, where you've been, what you think you're going to do?
Yeah, so I got into crypto. I used to be a big gamer when I was growing up, and my friend and I were always scheming on how to like World of Warcraft and things, right, without having to go ask our parents. And it was 8th grade summer. My friend comes to me. He's like, hey, there's this new thing called Bitcoin. We just set up our computers at night, and then we can buy game time with it. So I'm like, all right. We did that every night. We'd set up our laptops. We would mine. I kind of forgot about that Bitcoin. I think I spent some on like a Club Penguin membership for my sister, and then, forgot about what it was for the next 5-ish years. So fast forward to like college, I'm working at a venture capital firm, and I'm starting to hear about crypto again, and it's, familiar enough. So it piques my interest. And I hear that they invested in a couple crypto startups. So my goal there was, all right, cool. I'm into crypto. I think it's kind of cool. I'm going to scheme so that these people hire me. And so I started learning about crypto in my free time, chilling at the desk, talking those guys up. And I didn't end up working for them. I ended up doing my own little startup, trying to do tickets as NFTs, but packed that up with COVID, and then, left to do some tech consulting. Was still kind of interested in crypto the whole time, on Twitter, on whatever it is. My friends and I started running an indexer for the graph, just as like a little side project for fun. And then
shout out the graph.
I saw Grayscale was hiring. I reached out, and here we are. So
talk about the VC. What year did you work for a VC company?
2017 to 2019.
And that was kind of out of college, you said?
Yeah, so I was interning during college there. So it was cool. Got a lot of cool exposure. Got to meet a lot of people. Learned a lot of things. But yeah, it was a cool experience.
Thank you for mentioning Club Penguin, because in my opinion, that was peak internet.
What?
God, what a time. Sorry, go for it, Ricker.
I was going to say the beginning of my crypto stuff was also like not investment based. I was using Bitcoin allegedly for like sports gambling. I didn't have like an investment mindset. And so I was just doing like $20 bets of like 0.05 in like 2017. And then, kind of same thing where I kind of like didn't think about it for a few years until like 21, 20.
I mean, a big reason I got into Bitcoin, or I got back into Bitcoin, was when we had to send the money over as crypto. It was either crypto or Western Union. Western Union charged crazy fees. Bitcoin was like $3. And so what I did is I bought Bitcoin. I bought like $200-300. By the time I sent the money, Bitcoin had gone up like $50. So like, cool, I just paid $50, whatever. This is interesting. Had a little bit of Bitcoin left, and that's kind of, what piqued my interest again too. So
Also,
yeah, a
common
lot of avenues to get into crypto.
It's either, virtual 2008 worlds of penguins, sports gambling, or alleged activities.
Exactly.
What was the timeline after were you into business going up to college? I mean, you said you interned for a VC company. Was that kind of like a new thing, or were you kind of conditioned business through a kid in through high school and college, or not?
That was kind of a new thing. So I was studying biology. I wanted to be a dentist. And like junior year, I took organic chemistry. Once I took organic chemistry, I was like, listen, guys, I'm not sticking around for another 8 years. It's just not happening. So I finished the degree, but I just started taking like comp sci classes and spent most of my time focusing on that ticketing startup while working at the VC firm. So yeah, I just studied biology. Don't know how I ended up here. But it actually that's actually an interesting point though, because we're hiring right now for a research position, and the whole industry is hiring for a ton of jobs, whether it's engineering related or not. And I think a lot of people trying to break into the space have some fears or whatever of not having the qualifications. And honestly, most people aren't qualified that try and come into crypto. It's very rare to find anyone with years of crypto experience. And let's be honest, most of the time that crypto experience isn't super legit, right? It's like, oh, I did something that this company did something related to crypto, right? It's kind of embellishment, which is typical in resumes. But the point is that like you got to look beyond that. Like so it took me a little bit to realize that me spending 4 years learning biology was actually super helpful for a research job, because as a biology student, you spend all day in lab creating data, running experiments, and then you get that data in an Excel sheet and you make charts. And you have to pull insights from those charts, and then you got to write reports on those charts, which is basically what we do as researchers, right? I look at the data available to me. I look at the trends, what's going on. I have a couple ideas. I test those out with some of the data, chart it, see what it looks like, and then I write some insights based on what I picked up. So it's just one example from biology, but yeah, I think really what it is just like interest. In that sense, not to go too deep on the rabbit hole, I guess, but like for people trying to get into crypto, it's really just like, are you interested? Do you have like that curiosity? Are you like involved on Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever it is, right? Just showing that like it's like actually like an interest or a passion, which I think was helpful for me just in most of the things that I tried to do. Yeah.
I think finance is very data science, basically. And then, coming from like studying like nature and like biology and like organisms and things, I think is probably an edge for a lot of people who are like getting into like finance. I think there's a lot of correlations between like nature cycles and money stuff.
Yeah. It's a similar thought process, like way of thinking.
Yeah. Can you talk about research in general? What's your like day to day what are you researching? What's kind of your beat at Grayscale?
Anything and everything. My job at Grayscale is probably one of the coolest out there. There's tons of knowledgeable people in the company. Like we have probably like the best lawyers and the best finance guys. Like honestly, these guys are just so smart. But like as the researcher at Grayscale, like I have the coolest job ever. I just get to research anything and everything I want, and I get to be like that crypto resource expert. Like my day to day, I'll wake up, I'll scroll through Twitter as everyone does, and read the newsletters that I get in my inbox, and then it's I guess it's just a mix of like poking around our data sources, looking at some charts, seeing what's going on in the markets, and then I guess trying to be creative with that.
So do like teams come to you and be like, "Hey, explain this to us"?
Yeah. So I'll do like crypto teach-ins or just like chat and learns every week or so, where people will just like chit chat and talk about NFTs or Jack Dorsey and his crusade against VCs and anything that kind of comes up.
How would you explain the metaverse to a beginner, someone that's just like doesn't get it?
That's a tough one. Yeah. So the metaverse is basically just the metaverse is like where digital experiences take place. I think that's kind of a phrase we've been using a lot as a company. And what that means is just, I'm a person in my daily life. I want to go do something, play a video game, listen to music, something that involves a digital activity, like a digital medium, and I go use it, right? So to that point, we have a metaverse right now. Like the metaverse exists. World of Warcraft is a metaverse in itself. Club Penguin was a metaverse. They just suck, right? So this whole like concept of metaverse today that we hear about, like the popular term is more forward looking. It's like the digital worlds or games or experiences that we have, but in the future, and it's meant to mimic things that we have right now. So like if I show up to a meeting or I log into a game right now, those items I don't own. I have no say over them really. But maybe the idea is I log into my Zoom meeting or I log into my game and now I own that like sword or that shirt that I'm wearing, which makes it feel more realistic, right? Like I go to my meeting at Grayscale in person and I'm wearing my clothes. And if someone tries to steal my clothes, there's the government that enforces that. But in the digital world, that doesn't really exist. So I think the idea is just, integrating that. So when I go to these digital experiences, I own the stuff. And now the government that's enforcing that I own the stuff is the blockchain, right? So, long way to go. I guess it's kind of a longer answer too. But
that was good. That was, yeah, that was.
But yeah, it's a weird concept.
They've branded the internet as a thing, as a product. The internet that has been going on for a while, the sans digital ownership has been the metaverse. But in the future, AR, XR, VR, cool stuff. I can see it in front of me without glasses. Yeah. So I think, what's his name? Sean Puri was a pretty famous guy on Twitter. He had a great little thread that was like, the metaverse isn't really anything. It's a time. It's time period. It's the next 10, 20 years when these digital experiences become a little more authentic in whatever way that manifests itself, right?
Yeah, true.
What are your thoughts on traditional finance in the future, going into more DeFi?
I think it'll become blended in the future. I think the only reason right now it's not, and it's so separated, is just regulation, regulatory reasons. Because there's a lot of great things that crypto has drawn from traditional finance in terms of like market structures, products, businesses, right? Like Uniswap, Compound, those are nothing new. Those are just rebuilt systems that we have centrally. But then the flip can also be said. So like a lot of these centralized companies can learn from these DeFi platforms, or actually just like benefit from them. How many employees could Coinbase, I guess, cut, and that sounds bad, but like how much more efficient, I guess, could Coinbase be if they had a lot of their protocols running? Like look at FTX versus Coinbase. FTX has I think a hybrid on-chain infrastructure that essentially allows them to have real-time data, real-time settlement, and provide data for free, right? And I think they have like 4 engineers in total. And these dudes are just, I want like a documentary on these guys, because they must be the most insane engineers ever. Like they're putting out so much, building so much, creating so many good features so quickly. And it's absurd with like such a small team. And I think the point is that leveraging some of these like open networks, secure networks can actually help a lot. Like look at banks, right? Like Bitcoin versus banks. The only reason banks have so many employees and there's so many regulatory bodies around them and it's so cumbersome is because it's just a CSV in their database that anyone, like I can go get myself $1 billion if I wanted to at JP Morgan or at Chase, right? And so you have to have all these regulations around it to protect that. But, with crypto, with decentralized open networks, like you can be much more efficient. And so that leaves room for employees or people, like to cut employees to go do something cool. There's this book by Jeremy Rifkin. He's like an economist. He says that human productivity peaked in 1997-ish, which is to say that like all these apps on the iPhones and whatever that come out for like productivity really don't help you much. And I think cryptos is a great way to like push us beyond that. You look at like Uniswap. Uniswap Labs is doing more volume than Coinbase sometimes. They have like 20 employees. I think it's just the nature of how efficient these systems can be. So it's really exciting.
Okay, I'm trying to understand this. So because Coinbase is kind of pretty centralized, that's why it has to have so many employees for like security reasons.
Yeah, I mean, all of their order books are just a database. It's probably in AWS, which means like so yeah. Okay, so the reason Coinbase can do like free trades, right, or offset ETH fees or not have to charge you ETH fees is because if I go buy ETH and sell ETH and swap it for Bitcoin or do whatever in the Coinbase app, none of that happens on chain. That just happens in their own database, which is free, and it makes sense to do it that way. But it's their own ledger, and so because of that, they have to have not only do they have to have employees around that, control systems, reporting, audits, but then they have to have other companies and other regulatory agencies and everything checking on that, right? Whereas Uniswap is just a development company that builds a protocol, and then the protocol deploys on chain, and they're done with it. The protocol on chain processes the data, deals with it, employee or users and everything. But ultimately, like Uniswap Labs isn't processing that data or holding it. They're just deploying the code that understands that data. Right. So the Uniswap app doesn't feed data back to a database that the guys at Uniswap can just search, export, whatever. Right? That doesn't happen. Whereas at Coinbase, everything that we do dumps into an Excel sheet on their back end, more or less.
I see.
So we are really seeing the efficiency of the computer power kind of overtake.
It's like trustless data and immutable data, or immutability, which makes the data trustless, right? Which is a lot of big buzzwords, but
you don't have to have humans watching over things when you have code watching over things.
Yeah, it's like if we pooled money together, right, and then we just gave it all to John, like you and I are probably going to want to like be like, yo, like John, like how's the money pile doing, right? And like those are checks that we got to do, as opposed to just having a system that we all trust that keeps track of every transaction we do, right? Which is Bitcoin.
There was an analogy that I think Gavin Wood had about where Web2 went wrong, or what it outdid itself for, was where, in the past you had little villages and humans had to have checks and balances. If you make like bad trades, then you get run out of town. So people are scared of doing bad trades. And then, you had institutions come in where they regulate those bad trades. And then you're supposed to trust those institutions. And you kind of see that next wave of, well, institutions are a little bit inefficient as we go into the future, and we can make things a lot more efficient if we build things with computer technology.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, then you like, if you even look at who's working at these institutions, whether it's like a government institution or like a Big Four audit company, any work done at a Big Four company, especially like auditors, is all done by like entry level 22 to 25-year-olds, right? Which are fresh out of college, but they're the analysts doing the work. And then on the flip side, it's just normal people at like the SEC, right? So like these institutions, you're supposed to trust them, but also if you look, it's just normal people.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people haven't seen, I think that's where maybe VC areas or, even financial areas of work and like study, once you kind of get behind the doors of what is supposed to be like, hey, these are big things that you don't understand and you don't have to because we got it. So everything's cool. It gives a little bit of peace for like the rest of society. And then when you kind of go behind and see like these are people just making things, even if it is a little tech based or hard, then you're like, hey, are you guys good? Can you guys do this?
Yeah. At least for like, I think for me, I had this impression that all of these, agencies, big name, whatever, were like super strict, had reasons for everything. Nah, you just kind of do stuff to see if it works. That's it. Which I think is why, like, decentralized protocols are great, because you abstract all of the trust and ambiguity and you just write it in code. Like the simplest way, I don't know if you guys know how to code, but when I learned how to code, for me, it was like eye-opening, because it was like, okay, you essentially tell like a 3-year-old how to accomplish a task. Like, walk to the kitchen, open the cabinet, grab the paper towels, grab the spray bottle, spray, right? Like, you have to say every single step, but once you say every single step, it's good. Like, you just press play and keep doing it.
When did you start getting into code?
College. I finished my like biology degree a little bit early, so I just finished all my requirements with coding classes. There was only like 2 or 3. But yeah.
Go for it.
What are you coding now? What would you suggest for people if they didn't know how to code going in the future? What should they learn?
I would just say Python because it's pretty easy. It's basically a calculator that understands words, and then it's fun. Like for me, I think what was super great was coming from like biology. I would spend 12 hours a day studying organic chemistry and making molecules, right? Which then I go home and I'm like, all right, that sucked. Or I go spend like 2 hours, 3 hours in class learning how to code, and then I can go home and make like a little calculator or something that might make my life easier. So.
You got any predictive things I can use for stocks or what?
No, unfortunately not. I wish.
Okay. All right.
I'm not much of a gambler, to be honest.
That's where probabilities come in.
Yeah, it's true. I'm not much of a trader lately. Everything's just so exciting and new that I just kind of like buying stuff, holding it for a year or two, and just seeing what happens. At this point, seeing things go to zero is sometimes just as exciting as seeing things go up. So
your chemistry in the brain still probably triggers something.
Yeah.
You gonna say something, Blaine?
There's an imbalance there for sure.
I was gonna ask your opinion on Bitcoin and what do you think the future of it is? I know that's kind of a broad question, but I guess to narrow it down, like, do you think it's money? Do you think it's property? Do you think it's just always going to exist? Do you think it's going to lose popularity? What do you think?
Oh man, this is gonna make some people mad. Probably. I got into it with some maxis on Twitter a little bit ago. I think Bitcoin is a digital commodity, and that's great. We need that. I think it's solved and proved a lot of things for the industry. My view is that the first blockchain, even the second blockchain, is not going to be the only blockchain that's ever used, right?
It's kind of silly to think that.
Yeah, and that was exactly what I said. And
there's a lot of things that need a lot of different uses.
Absolutely. And like Satoshi, right? He could be a god. He could also be a normal person. And my bet is that he was a normal person and he experimented based off of other people's previous experiments, and his experiment was successful, right? And we learned amazing things from that. We learned the importance of decentralization. We learned how to build trustless networks. We learned how to incentivize those networks. We learned, like the different nuances of technical architecture. So to that point, I think Bitcoin is a digital commodity, and I think that's great. And I think it's a great store of value. And I think, like relating it to gold, it's, people say like, what's the inherent value of Bitcoin versus gold? Well, it's that it's digital. Like 82% of Americans are making digital payments, right? Like there's 11 to 15% that don't even leave their house with a physical wallet anymore. And the point to that is just the world's becoming increasingly digital, whether it's payments, activities, school, and so we need digital stores of value. We need stores of value that are compatible with the internet and that mimic the similar properties as like physical items, which is ownership. So to that point, I think, Bitcoin's a commodity. I think it's great. I think it will always probably be, one or two in terms of the largest assets. But then that said, I think it has its limitations, right? Like the UTXO architecture makes it great for moving and tracking coins, but not necessarily like account balances. And so Ethereum was the next innovation off of that. It was cool. We've got this really great chain, decentralization, proof of work, whatever it is, worked really well, but it's missing, some capabilities here and here and here, right? And so that's what they did. And now Ethereum, proved decentralized network with smart contract architecture, let people build on top of that. But the cost of security and decentralization is expensive. So now we had Solana, Avalanche, Near, whatever, right? Phantom, and those all did super well because they iterated on that and said, okay, great. We've decentralization, incentivizing decentralization. We figured that out. We know how to do that. We know it works. Let's focus on the speed and cost, right? So, eventually Solana, Avalanche, and these guys will catch up on the decentralization. I just like to say that's a spectrum. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think the ecosystem is going to keep developing, and whether it's a layer 1, a layer 2, whatever we call them. Ultimately, I just call them application layers. We'll keep having more based on the use cases. And then the other thing too is there's 7-8 billion people on this earth. We can't have all that traffic on one chain. It's not only 8 billion people, it's hundreds of millions of IoT devices and whatever it is, right? Applications. So,
you brought up VC Jack Andreessen talking about kind of decentralization and VCs. Did you have an opinion on what they were talking about?
Yeah, who owns Web3? Who's the real owner?
I mean,
I tend to agree that it's not as decentralized as people want it to be. It's
absolutely. I think here's my hot take. I think proof of stake is only in existence because people are sick of talking about the energy debate. Because let's be honest here, proof of stake fundamentally incentivizes or favors the wealthy in that system, right? The amount of asset or token you hold directly influences your ability to earn more. And I think people understand that, people know it. I just think in large part, we're kind of glossing over that just because it makes it more investable for VCs or or just for users who don't really understand too much. So to that point, VCs do own a lot of Web3. I think I saw someone point out the nuance that like a lot of VCs are funded by pensions and universities and stuff, which is true. Granted, those LPs don't have a voice in their investment direction. Yeah. But also the thing is though, it's just necessary. It's a necessary evil. Like we need money somewhere. Like builders need to eat, right? And the reality is that most of these guys, can't just fund themselves for 2-3 years on a whim and spend all their money. And at least it's just tough to do so. So I think VCs are great. I think right now, VCs might have gone a little trigger happy with.
There's also a lot of ammo to be trigger happy with right now. That probably won't be in the future.
That too. There's just so much ammo right now that everyone's been getting millions and millions of dollars pretty easily. And it was great for the space. I think what we might see happen actually is in the next couple of years now, after all these projects have been overwhelmingly funded by VCs, is we'll see new projects come and say, all right, we'll sell off 20%, 30%, 50% of our tokens, just like a set supply. And then to the VCs acknowledging that they do need to fundraise, but then making sure to split the rest of that token supply very evenly or as evenly as they can. However, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, however that manifests itself, I think we could see a shift of teams focusing on, VC funding or allocation of supply to VCs, foundation funds, the diversification of funds in the foundation, team distribution, right? Like not having the entire team in the US or whatever. I think we'll start seeing a lot of those metrics maybe becoming a factor in protocols soon.
And that's what I was going to say. I think a lot of people tend to think in extremes of like this or that, where, tops and bottoms of cycles, but you probably see a midpoint somewhere of firms being like, okay, there's a lot of people wanting certain features and not wanting other features. They want us to do certain things, and the firms that will kind of bend to the will of the market, really.
I think that's what would be the differentiator between like the sushi swap and the Uniswap, right? It's the same code base for the most part and the same function. But maybe the qualitative aspects of those protocols are what people like long term.
You see that with banks too. There's different banks that be like doing all the ESG stuff, but they're like, all right, banks are banks, but we do like one thing: we plant trees when you buy gas. So if you like that, come to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
2 books you like and 2 websites you like?
Ooh, books.
Top 2 books.
Oh, damn, that's tough. I got 3. All right, here's 2. The Sovereign Individual. That one was recommended to me when I first started at Grayscale by the guy who hired me, Phil. Probably one of the smartest guys I've ever met. That book was great. It was written in like the 90s, so very forward looking, but almost spot on with this whole crypto revolution. And then the other book I like is The Third Industrial Revolution, the one by Jeremy Rifkin. I think that one's really good. Kind of talks about how like, you know, the 1600s or whatever was industrialized by steam and railroads, and then we went to cars and coal, and now we're at this inflection point of, you know, moving on to the next one. You know, solar, renewables, and who knows, right? So
I do think I've seen End of Work as well from him, which is
he's a super smart guy. I really like his stuff. There's a shorter pod or like TED Talk version of the book too on YouTube somewhere, but
2 websites you would suggest to someone to research crypto or modes of thought, really.
Yeah.
And websites to help that thought process.
I'm trying to think of some that aren't paywalled.
Paywall too.
Paywall, I really like Delphi Digital. Delphi is probably like top tier research in this space. They're really good. Websites. Honestly, I gotta plug the Plain Text Capital website. Phil, that's his new fund. Their blog section, really good content, like really good newsletters, really good end of year commentary, especially for people that are kind of new in the space, just like curious, like what do I look into, what trends, what even happened. Honestly, probably one of the best newsletters out there.
Sick, sir. Appreciate your time. I really enjoyed it personally.
Same.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me. This was fun. Sorry for the delay.
All good. You got a parting sentence for anybody listening?
Oh man, a lot of pressure.
A parting sentence for your past self, perhaps.
Oh, that's a good one. You know, I would just say, like, have fun, chase your curiosity, and don't take things too seriously. Sure. You know, I'm not necessarily one of these people, but my friend said something really interesting to me one day. He was like, this was like related to investing. He was like, you know, I've been broke before. I don't care if I'm broke again. I can get back here, right? And I love that mentality. I'm a little too risk averse to feel that way, but I love that because you got to take risks to go big, and you gotta take, you know, a leap of faith. And I think that's just a great mentality to have in life, right? Like, go big or go home, and if you fail, that's okay. So
wonderful. Maximo, where can they find you if you want to be found?
Twitter, Maximo1. Pretty simple. I got a little penguin profile pic, so that's me.
Awesome, sir. Appreciate it again.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's good. It was good talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.